Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 355 based on novel. So let's start. Wang Lin had his own plot going into this seven-colored crack, and it was bound to have conflict with Master Ashen Pine. Wang Lin could deal with a mid-stage Nirvana Shatterer cultivator, and even against two he would be fine as long as the second one didn't have a good relationship with Master Ashen Pine. Wang Lin had secretly observed the boy named Duanmu. He was a ruthless person, and his relationship with Master Ashen Pine was merely for their own benefits. As for Chen Qianjun, he didn't have a very close relationship with Master Ashen Pine. He must have had his own plans. The only ones that had a close relationship with Master Ashen Pine were two people. The first was the old man named Pang, and the other was Master Cloud Soul. According to Wang Lin's analysis, it was due to Master Cloud Soul that Master Ashen Pine could calmly invite everyone. After all, with the two of them working together and the old man named Pang on their side, that team was already invincible among them. Therefore, destroying Master Cloud Soul would be equal to breaking one of Master Ashen Pine's arm. Master Cloud Soul had ill intent and had been observing him this whole time. Wang Lin decided to attack first and not give them a chance to join forces. Right now was the best chance to attack. Mid-stage Nirvana Shatterer. Thinking about how he was going to battle a mid-stage Nirvana Shatterer cultivator, Wang Lin felt excited. With the iron sword in his hand, he mercilessly slashed down. The power of a pseudo-Nirvana void treasure was heaven-shaking. At this moment, a monstrous ray of sword energy shot at Master Cloud Soul. Master Cloud Soul's expression changed. He was not far from Wang Lin and was very close to the seven-colored crack. He had no time to think as the sword energy closed in instantly. Master Cloud Soul let out a roar and his hands formed a seal. The soul flame behind him flew out to confront Wang Lin's sword energy. The soul flame shot at Wang Lin and collided with the sword energy. A thunderous rumble echoed and the soul flame collapsed. It wasn't able to stop the sword energy from piercing through at all. At this moment of crisis, Master Cloud Soul's eyes widened in anger. At the moment it closed in, he bit the tip of his tongue and spat out a gush of essence blood. This blood turned into a skull that devoured the ray of sword energy. There was a heaven-shaking bang as Master Cloud Soul's body trembled and his face turned pale. His eyes were filled with shock, but he was, after all, a mid-stage Nirvana Shatterer cultivator, so Wang Lin's sword energy wasn't able to seriously injure him. The impact knocked Wang Lin back a few steps and he was about to disappear into the crack. "You're looking for death, Junior." Master Cloud Soul let out a roar and rushed forward. He was very fast and closed in on Wang Lin in an instant. Wang Lin didn't have time to let the iron sword use its full attack. There was a cold flash in his eyes. This wasn't outside his expectations. A mid-stage Nirvana Shatterer cultivator wasn't easy to kill. His purpose was to injure him. It was all preparation for what will happen next. Wang Lin retreated and was about to completely enter the crack. Master Cloud Soul closed in and was half a foot into the crack. He lifted his hand and was about to use a spell, but at this moment, Wang Lin revealed a smile that wasn't a smile. He opened his mouth and shouted, "Stop!" The celestial origin energy inside his body surged like crazy and turned into the stop spell that surrounded Master Cloud Soul. In the blink of an eye, Master Cloud Soul's body paused. With his cultivation level, he only needed a moment to break the invisible silk threads formed by the stop spell, but it was enough. Just as Wang Lin entered the crack, a ray of sword energy shot out at Master Cloud Soul's head. A punch filled with ancient god power also shot out at him. The ray of sword energy closed in. Master Cloud Soul broke free from the stop spell in time to dodge, but he let out a miserable groan and blood gushed out from his right arm. The sword energy had chopped off his right arm. At this moment, the ancient god punch arrived. Although Master Cloud Soul blocked it with his spell, it caused his body to move to the side by a large amount. Fear appeared in his eyes. You couldn't just arbitrarily move while being transferred through the crack. If you did, you would immediately be teleported to another location when crossing between the two realms. Wang Lin had passed through many spatial cracks. Although he hadn't entered the seven-colored crack before, he concluded that all cracks between two realms were like this. This seven-colored crack also wasn't stable, so he was even more certain. His purpose wasn't to attempt to kill a mid-stage Nirvana Shatterer cultivator. Instead, it was to injure Master Cloud Soul and change his transfer location the moment he entered the crack. All of this happened in a flash. It was unimaginably fast. At the moment he entered the crack, Wang Lin's vision blurred and his origin soul suffered the severe backlash from using the stop spell, but he suppressed it by force. When he regained his vision, he appeared in a strange world. There was a sky and earth here, but the sky gave off a seven-colored glow. Even the earth was seven-colored due to this light. However, this world wasn't clear but shrouded in fog. Only a few places didn't have fog. Wang Lin didn't look at the scene too closely. His eyes lit up and he looked around at the people who had teleported here. Master Cloud Soul was not here. Seeing this, Wang Lin relaxed a bit. He had made a gamble, and now he knew he had won his bet. What he did was extremely dangerous. Master Cloud Soul wasn't prepared, so his spell got interrupted by the stop spell. If that spell had shot out, things wouldn't have ended so quickly. Everyone was on an altar-like place that was only 1,000 feet wide. The old man named Pan looked around and recalled the past. This was his third time here. The first time they came, many of their friends died. The second time, more of them died. Today, including himself, there were only 3 of them left. The eyes of the boy named Duanmu looked at the fog ahead as he licked his lips and muttered, "That fog is not star fog." The Battle Beast sect's Chen Tianjun got very excited after arriving here. He took a few deep breaths and his eyes revealed a strange light. Only the old woman in green frowned slightly. No one knew what she was thinking about. Master Ashenpine's expression was excited, but his gaze immediately became serious. He looked at Wang Lin and said, "Fellow cultivator Lu, where is Master Cloud Soul?" Wang Lin's expression was calm and frowned. "How would I know where he went? Master Cloud Soul was behind you, and the 2 of you were the last ones to enter. Did an accident happen outside?" Master Ashenpine frowned. The good mood he had from returning here disappeared with Master Cloud Soul's disappearance, and he had a bad feeling. Wang Lin calmly said, "I don't know if any accident happened outside, but when I entered the crack, there was no accident." The old man named Pang stared at Wang Lin and slowly said, "Fellow cultivator Lu, I noticed before that fellow cultivator Cloud Soul was not far away from you. There is no reason for you have entered but him to go missing." Master Ashenpine's expression was gloomy as he looked at Wang Lin. His heart was already extremely angry. The words between the 3 of them aroused the attention of the rest of the cultivators. The boy named Duanmu smiled and said, "Interesting. We can even lose a person by entering a crack." The old woman in green looked at Wang Lin but didn't speak. Chen Tianjun frowned. He ignored all of this while he looked at the fog in the distance. There was a hint of feverish excitement in his eyes. Fellow cultivator Pang should be careful with his words. If you say things so thoughtlessly, you might invite dire misfortune. Wang Lin sneered and looked at the old man named Pang. The old man named Pang trembled. He thought about Wu Qing's death and regretted saying so much. He then looked at Master Ashenpine. "Fellow cultivator Lu, please give me an explanation." Master Ashenpine stared at Wang Lin. He knew that Master Cloud Soul had been watching this youth in white. Now that he was missing, this person was the prime suspect. What a joke! Wang Lin laughed in anger. He looked indifferently at Master Ashenpine and sneered. "Master Cloud Soul is at the mid-stage of Nirvana Shatterer, and I'm not his match. Fellow cultivator Ashenpine wants an explanation from me, but that is something I'm unable to give. Master Cloud Soul has legs and a brain, why would he report to me where he is going? Ridiculous. If you want a reason to battle, then I'll accompany you to the end." A cold light flashed through Wang Lin's eyes and his words were sharp. The boy named Duanmu looked at Wang Lin and said to Master Ashenpine in a sharp voice, "Interesting. However, Master Ashenpine, fellow cultivator Lu's words are very reasonable. Master Cloud Soul has legs and a brain, Maybe he didn't want to come in, or he didn't want to be with us and went to another place. Master Ashenpine frowned tightly. He had doubts in his heart as well. With Master Cloud Soul's cultivation level, unless this person named Lu was hiding a much higher cultivation level, there was no way Master Cloud Soul would be killed in such a short period of time. His gaze swept past Wang Lin. Master Ashenpine denied the idea that Master Cloud Soul was killed, especially when he considered that Master Cloud Soul was like himself, who was very familiar with this place. They had both entered twice already. Could it be? Could it be that Master Cloud Soul found another method of entry and used a special method to teleport away? Although this is possible, it could also be possible that this Lu cultivator fought Master Cloud Soul and caused him to be teleported to another place. But if this were true, how did this one named Lu safely teleport here? Master Ashenpine had uncertainty in his heart, but he could only suppress it. He looked at Wang Lin and clasped his hands. It was me who was reckless on this matter. I hope fellow cultivator Lu won't mind. Wang Lin let out a cold snort. He then clasped his hands but didn't speak. At this moment, in a valley filled with dense fog inside this seven-colored world, Master Cloud Soul sat there with a pale face, nervously looking around. There were no more blood flowing out from his right arm, but there were fear hidden behind his expression. Damn it! I was transported here. His heart trembled as he licked his dry lips. He looked at the dense fog at the mouth of the valley. There were faint roars coming from the dense fog along with a fishy smell. The matter about Master Cloud Soul was put aside and was no longer mentioned. The old man named Pang complained in his heart and was on guard because he had just offended Wang Lin. Thinking about Wang Lin's cold gaze, he couldn't help but suck in a breath of cold air. Master Ashenpine said with a serious tone, "Don't spread out your divine sense too far, or else you will attract the fierce beasts here. Although this is only the outer region, there are rank 12 fog beasts here. Also, don't fly higher than 1,000 feet. Wang Lin looked at the seven-colored light in the sky and pondered. This seven-colored light was very strange and gave him a strange feeling. It seemed to contain an incomprehensible change in law. What the hell is this place? The person that asked was the Battle Beast Sect's Chen Qianjun. Master Ashenpine looked ahead and slowly said, "The seven-colored realm. This is what I call it. The outer region of this place is filled with fog beasts. This is where all my origin crystals come from. I have come here a few times, but I'm unable to enter the center region. There are some remains of ancient people there. According to my observations, there are celestials and some very strange people." He pointed ahead as he slowly spoke. "Fellow cultivators, please follow me and don't leave. This place is very dangerous. If you're not careful, you might die here." With that, he walked down the altar and walked ahead. Everyone followed closely after Master Ashenpine and slowly moved forward. Master Ashenpine was serious the whole way and followed the fixed route off the altar into the plain. They eventually arrived within the fog-filled mountains. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he looked around. There were no trees here, only bare mountains. The different types of fog existed in their own separate groups and didn't interfere with each other. Just at this moment, Chen Qianjun suddenly stopped and looked at a mountain not far away. A stone cave could vaguely be seen halfway up the mountain. This cave was obviously not natural. At a glance, it was obvious it was made by someone to be used as a cultivation cave. There is indeed a cave there. But there are rank 12 beasts guarding it. The last time I came, I lured them away and went inside. I did obtain some stuff, Master Ashenpine quietly said as he looked at Chen Qianjun. Then he continued to walk forward. Chen Qianjun withdrew his gaze and looked at Master Ashenpine in front. No one knew what he was thinking. As everyone moved forward, the path got narrower. Master Ashenpine was very familiar with this place. When there was no road ahead, he would change directions and another road would appear. Time slowly passed. As everyone went deeper, they felt a sense of majesty. This feeling became stronger, and when it descended on them, it even made their minds tremble. Master Ashenpine's expression became more serious and he slowed down. He would have to think for a long time after every step as if he was recalling the route. Wang Lin was silent the whole way, but his eyes shined brightly. He had already noticed that there were numerous restrictions here. However, most of them were too old and had mostly collapsed, but there were still some that were operational. What shocked Wang Lin was the power of these restrictions. These restrictions were even stronger than the ones in Celestial Emperor Qinglin's cave. If it wasn't for the fact that they had collapsed, it would have been impossible to reach this point. Looking back at where they passed through, they had already traveled more than 5 kilometers. They hadn't crossed the mountain range ahead of them yet, and it was impossible to know what was beyond the mountains. In this 7-colored realm, there was no night, the 7-colored light filled the sky. Master Ashenpine moved slower and slower before he finally stopped. He rubbed his temples and said, "Fellow cultivator Duanmu, the reincarnation pill is not far ahead. However, there is a rank 12 fierce beast there, so if you want it, there might be some trouble." There was a narrow road before Master Ashenpine, and the side of the mountains looked grim. Sometimes, a few stones would tumble down and make some noise. Aside from that, the surroundings were completely silent. There was a faint mist blocking the narrow road, and on the edge of the fog you could see a skeleton on the side. Almost all of its clothes had dissipated, only a few strands of cloth were still wrapped around the skeleton. The flesh on the skeleton had completely decayed and the pelvic bone could clearly be seen. There was a 7-colored pill inside it. This pill wasn't complete and had subtle cracks. Some of it had even melted, so it was no longer shaped like a pill, but a crescent shape. This was a pill that was devoured by someone, but that person died before they could completely absorb the pill. Although countless years had passed, the pill still emitted a faint fragrance, only now it was very light. Smelling the fragrance, Wang Lin's eyes narrowed. This fragrance was very strange. When it entered his nose, it made his origin soul tremble. His mind began recalling the past and scenes of the past uncontrollably appeared before his eyes. Fortunately, Wang Lin was also vigilant. He bit the tip of his tongue and his eyes suddenly cleared up. He was secretly startled. He looked at everyone else. That old man named Pang had already sealed his 5 senses. It was obvious he already knew that this place was strange. As for the old woman in green, she was confused for a moment but soon recovered. The battle beast sect Chen Qianzhen quickly recovered. What a powerful pill! It indeed is the reincarnation pill. The boy named Duanmu took a deep breath and was indulging in the fragrance. Fellow cultivator Duanmu cultivates the reincarnation cycle of the sun and moon. What he needs to comprehend is his reincarnation. He must complete the reincarnation cycle 9 times to complete his Tao. However, the heavens are ruthless, so it is very difficult to succeed. Rumor has it that there was a reincarnation pill in the ancient cultivation world that allowed one to enter the reincarnation cycle to comprehend Tao. However, the reincarnation pill is long lost, and only part of the recipe exists. It is impossible to refine a reincarnation pill, we can only condense some reincarnation energy. Master Ashenpine slowly explained. The boy named Duanmu's eyes lit up and he stared at Master Ashenpine. He said with a sharp voice, "Fellow cultivator Ashenpine sure knows a lot. I presume you made adequate preparations when you came to find me." Master Ashenpine smiled but didn't speak. "If it wasn't for what's in the fog next to the skeleton, you wouldn't have been so as to kind to invite me." The boy named Duanmu looked at the fog. That is indeed true. Fellow cultivator Duanmu's reincarnation Tao will be very useful to us for the rest of the trip. We will help you obtain this pill and you will open the road the rest of the way. Master Ashenpine was calm as he frankly admitted it. Okay. The boy pondered for a bit as he looked at the reincarnation pill in the skeleton, then his expression became serious. Master Ashenpine said with a serious voice, "This is a rank 12 dragon, which is equal to a peak Nirvana Shatterer cultivator. But a fierce beast is still a fierce beast. As long as we cooperate well, and along with fellow cultivator Duanmu's reincarnation spell, it's not impossible." Chen Qianzhen licked his lips. "I want this dragon's soul." The old woman in green said, "The body of this dragon belongs to me." Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he slowly said, "I want all the origin crystals in the fog." After the 3 of them finished speaking, their gazes fell on Master Ashenpine. Master Ashenpine laughed. That's fine. Fellow cultivator Pang and I don't want these things. We just want to pass here. A cold light flashed in the eyes in the boy and he took a deep breath. His hands formed a seal before him and his hair moved without any wind. His eyes lit up and the sun and moon appeared in one each respectively. Then he let out a roar as his left hand pointed to between his eyebrows and his right hand pointed ahead. His eyes shined brightly and the sun and moon marks in his eyes became even more clear. Everyone around him suddenly felt like their minds were being sucked into an illusion. Wang Lin looked at the boy and was completely calm. The moment the sun and moon marks appeared, they began to rotate around each other to form a vortex. It charged directly at the fog. It was too fast and instantly closed on the fog. Popping sounds echoed as it charged into the fog. At this moment, the fog began to churn violently and a roar came out. This roar was earth-shattering, and the mountains on the sides began to tremble and rocks fell off. At the same time, a large dragon head charged out it. A fishy-smelling wind swept by as it charged toward everyone. If this was it, it would be fine, but the moment the dragon's head appeared, the pressure of a peak Nirvana Shatter cultivator also appeared. This caused everyone's minds to tremble for an instant. The boy named Duanmu let out a roar and a sun and moon suddenly appeared before the head of the dragon that was charging at everyone. The sun and moon rotated like crazy, and the vortex they formed was pulling the dragon's head. My reincarnation spell can only affect it for 10 breaths of time. You all have to hurry. The boy's expression was ferocious and the veins on his forehead were swelling. He sat down, waved his right hand, and a 7-foot flying sword appeared. It turned into a ray of sword energy and shot directly at the dragon. Chen Qianzhen took a step forward as his hands formed a seal and a ghostly light shined around him. He immediately arrived next to the dragon, and in a flash he arrived on top of the dragon's head. He sat down and formed another seal. The ghostly light around him intensified and he unexpectedly entered the dragon's body. Master Ashenpine waved his hand and tens of thousands of swords appeared. They all fell like a rain of swords on the dragon. The old woman in green's right hand formed a seal and a cold wind blew by. There were crackling sounds as ice appeared in the narrow path and spread toward the dragon. The old man named Pang wasn't idle. He jumped into the air and waved his hand, causing lightning to appear. Balls of lightning descended from the sky. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he immediately got near the dragon. His right hand formed a fist and his punch landed on the dragon's giant body. A thunderous rumble echoed. It was the dragon roaring in anger as it tried to break through the body's reincarnation seal. Just at this moment, the boy's flying sword arrived with a shaking sword energy. It broke through the dragon's flesh and pierced through. Immediately after, the old man's lightning descended, making the dragon roar even more intensely. The more it struggled, the more pale the face of the boy became, and his body began trembling. The boy shouted, 5 more breaths of time. Master Ashenpine's hand quickly formed different seals as the tens of thousands of swords closed in and landed on the dragon. The dragon let out a roar and struggled, causing the boy to cough out blood. The veins on his body were all swelling and his eyes were bloodshot. The old woman in green's eyes closed in and touched the dragon. The dragon trembled and frost immediately appeared. Soon, ice covered the entire dragon. Strands of black gas started to come out of the dragon and got absorbed by the ice. This scene caused everyone to look at the old woman. Wang Lin naturally saw what was strange about the ice. It was able to absorb the dragon's vitality. The dragon suddenly raised its head and let out a roar. The boy coughed out blood and could no longer seal it. Without the reincarnation seal, the dragon roared. There was a single horn on its head, and as it moved, its body came out of the fog. As it came out, the amount of fog decreased. After the seal disappeared, the dragon moved and all the ice around it immediately collapsed. When the ice flew back next to the old woman in green, strands of black gas entered her body, and her eyes became even brighter. These old monsters are still hiding their spells. It is interesting. Wang Lin sneered as he flew above the head of the dragon that was rising. He charged toward the thinning fog. Once the dragon turned solid from its fog form, all the origin crystals would dissipate and become part of its body's origin energy. I'll only do as much work as I'm paid to do. There is no need for me to try so desperately just for these origin crystals. Wang Lin ignored the fight and charged into the fog. The moment he entered, he saw large amounts of origin crystals floating there, and some were still forming. He waved his arms and took hundreds of origin crystals. This method of collecting origin crystals made Wang Lin very happy. He moved through the fog like lightning and gathered the origin crystals that had formed over countless years. Wang Lin could still hear the roar of the dragon and the rumbles of the battle outside. Wang Lin quickly gathered thousands of origin crystal. In truth, it was not possible for rank 12 fog beasts to generate this many origin crystals. After all, the cultivators that were raising these fog beasts would come to collect them every now and then. However, in this seven-colored realm, no one would come to steal the origin crystals from the fog beast. After countless years, this many origin crystals had gathered. It didn't take long for Wang Lin to notice the fog around him begin to churn more violently and show signs of condensing. It was also moving toward one direction as it contracted. After calculating the amount of origin crystals, Wang Lin decisively gave up gathering more and moved to the side. As he moved, the fog began to condense even faster. In a moment, all the fog disappeared and was replaced with the dragon's tail. The dragon was about 10,000 feet tall and half of its body was in the air. This section of tail flew up with the body. The old man named Pang had a pale face as he leaned against the side of the mountain, and his chest was a bloody mess. Master Ashenpine, the old woman in green, and the boy were fighting above the dragon's head. They were all using spells to prevent the dragon from rising. The black horn on the dragon's head released a black light, and every time it flashed, Master Ashenpine and company had to dodge. The dragon spat out a fishy-smelling poison fog that was very difficult to deal with. However, it was also seriously injured as blood flowed out from the wounds on its body and dripped down its scales. Just at this moment, the dragon let out a heaven-shaking roar that made the surrounding mountains tremble and some rocks to fall down. Shortly after, the black horn on the dragon gave off a blinding light and a black lightning net spread out. At the same time, endless origin energy gathered and even some of the seven-colored light was absorbed. Roar? The dragon let out a roar that caused everyone's minds to tremble. As the dragon roared, the black lightning net increased in size by 1,000 feet. As the origin energy and seven-colored light was absorbed, illusions began to appear around the dragon. These illusionary shadows were all dragons. As they circled the area, Master Ashenpine and company were forced to retreat. The dragon was about to rise into the air. Once it flew up into the air, it would be a disaster for the cultivators that couldn't fly too high into the air. Just at this moment, Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he looked at the dragon's tail. He took a step forward and popping sounds came from his arms. The power of an ancient god surged through his arms as he jumped up and grabbed the dragon's tail. The veins on Wang Lin's arms swelled. Come down for me. Wang Lin's hands mercilessly held the dragon's tail and mercilessly pulled it down. This scene shocked all those who were dodging the dragon's spells. The eyes of the old man named Pan leaning on the side of the road widened. His eyes were filled with disbelief. All of Wang Lin's ancient god power surged in his body as the dragon struggled. The dragon turned its head and charged at Wang Lin. Spells circled the dragon's body. However, its struggle just made Wang Lin's ancient god power surge even faster. Come down. He let out a heaven-shaking roar that was like the voice of the god. Wang Lin's hand held the tail and mercilessly smashed the dragon's body down on the narrow path while all the other cultivators watched in shock. Although this dragon had a 10,000-foot-long body, had peak nirvana shatter a cultivator, had a body that was strong enough to resist most spells, and a body that was far stronger than that of any body-refining cultivator, it was nothing before Wang Lin. Even if it shed its skin and became a true dragon, it still wouldn't be able to rise into the sky before an ancient god. As Wang Lin swung down, the dragon wasn't able to struggle at all, and it let out a roar. Its body immediately came crashing down. The old man named Pang felt the sky darken. His mind was shocked and he quickly retreated like crazy. He was worried that if he was too slow and the dragon smashed onto his body would immediately collapse, given his cultivation level. A thunderous rumble echoed across the sky when the giant dragon smashed into the ground. Large amounts of rocks fell off the mountains on both sides, and it took a while for everything to return to normal. After the dragon fell on the ground, its body twitched, its head began to melt, and black gas came out. Chen Qianjun flew out from the head and took a few steps back. Master Ashenpine sucked in a breath of cold air. He stared at the dragon and then at Wang Lin, and a chill appeared in his heart. Even the boy licked his lips. There was a hint of dread in his gaze toward Wang Lin. The old woman in green also gasped and silently pondered. The one with the most fear in his heart was the old man named Pang, who had managed to avoid the dragon. When he thought about Wang Lin's threat, he felt bitterness in his mouth. Wang Lin's breathing was a bit rough and he looked at everyone before his gaze landed on the skeleton not far away. He walked over and looked down to find a jade under the skeleton. His right hand reached at the void and then the jade and pill landed in his hand. He threw the pill at the boy. The boy caught it and clasped his hands at Wang Lin. Many thanks. Holding the jade, Wang Lin sat down against the mountain. His divine sense swept inside jade and he began to carefully read the contents. Master Ashenpine arrived next to the old man named Pang. His right hand patted the old man's back and he handed over some pills before sitting down. He would occasionally look at Wang Lin with a mysterious light in his eyes. The boy held the reincarnation pill and revealed a look of excitement before putting it away. This was not the time to consume it. He took a deep breath and sat down to heal. Chen Qianjun also sat down. During this battle, everyone was outside, but he was inside and was indispensable. If there was no one outside, he wouldn't have been able to obtain the dragon's soul. Although he wasn't able to absorb it all, he had the best harvest out of everyone present. As for the old woman in green, she arrived next to the dragon's corpse. She placed her hand on the dragon and black gas came out from the dragon's body and entered hers. After resting for a few hours, Master Ashenpine looked at everyone and slowly said, "There are many rank 12 fog beasts here. However, the greater the danger, the bigger our harvest." At this moment, only bones remained of the dragon corpse next to the old woman. The old woman's face turned red and she unexpectedly became a bit younger. The old man named Pang had recovered a lot. He stood up and looked at the narrow path without any fog. His eyes lit up. Master Ashenpine got up and walked forward. "Everyone, let's go." The old woman in green and Chen Qianjun got up at the same time. Only the boy hesitated for a bit before also standing up. Wang Lin was sitting the farthest away from everyone and watched them walk over as he held the jade. There was something recorded in this jade. Something related to the seven-colored realm. This place is. Wang Lin's train of thought was broken as he suddenly looked behind everyone. His pupils shrank and all the hair on his body stood up. At the same time, Master Ashenpine and the boy suddenly stopped. Immediately after, the old woman and Chen Qianjun also noticed. The old man named Pang was the last person to notice. Master Ashenpine's eyes became filled with fear as he quickly sent out a divine sense message. "No matter what, don't move. This video will end here.